that. I meant talking about salvation.
Your candor.
Everybody knows that movie was, well, you know.
You got dick slapped.
The only reason that I get bummed out that I get killed at the end of any movie is that if there's any chance that there being a sequel, which is where the money is. And you notice when I had control of the movie, I stayed alive.
I recently watched Alien 3, Michael, and I was wondering how you felt when you found out you were cut from the film.
From Aliens 2,
yeah,
3? I was pissed, man.
Yeah. So was I.
I was upset because, you know, trailer, I mean, when you get into like the you know, 2 and 3 and 4, that's where you really start making money, you know. I was pissed. And, well, you know, I was pissed. That's all I can say. I was angry. No, I don't want to go into this. The whole story. There's a whole story.
Go on. That's why you're here. We're all friends here.
Stop the camera. Off the record.
No, well, actually, you know, Cameron wasn't that happy about it either. But, actually, I was working on another movie, and De Laurentiis, his daughter, I forgot.
Who's De Laurentiis' daughter?
I forgot. Raphael De Laurentiis was the producer of the movie. She was working on it. She came over and she said, Michael, I saw your body. I saw you over in London. And I went, what do you mean you saw me over in London? She goes, oh yeah, I saw a cast of you over in London, over at Pinewood Studios when they were shooting Aliens 3. And my chest is all opened up and stuff like that. And I was like, what? That's interesting. So I called my agent. His name's Ed Lamato, and Ed carries a lot of weight. He handles Mel Gibson. Used to, he died recently. But he carries a lot of weight, and he called up Fox and said you can't use Michael's likeness in the movie. And that was that. You know, we weren't going to let that happen. I wasn't going to let that fucking thing come out of Hicks's chest, period. I was like, what the fuck are you calling me for? You fucking cut me out of the fucking movie. You're calling me now and asking me for a fucking favor? Fuck you. Now, if I would have known David Fincher was going to go on, I might have handled that a little bit better. But I wasn't too happy with him at the time anyway, so I said no. I just basically said no. And then they finally came back and said, can we use your picture? And then they gave me a lot of money also to use my 8x10. And so that's how, that's that story.
But in retrospect?
No, in retrospect, I still want in retrospect what?
I've just heard you say before that, should I not continue?
Go ahead.
I've just heard you say before that you had no idea at that time how big a director David Fincher was going to be.
No, but I said that. I said that.
Jet
lag.
This
is what she was like. like on the set? The big scene. What? Huh? What? What page are we on?
I was producing, sorry.
Yeah?
Time for one more question. That chap there with the Adidas t-shirt.
Michael, you auditioned for the role of Colonel Quaritch in Avatar, and
Yeah.
unfortunately you didn't get it. I heard you were very disappointed over not getting the role. Have you spoken to Jim Cameron about a possible role in Avatar 2 sequel?
No, here's the deal about Avatars. I went in, I met Jim, he gave me the script, came back a week later, and I had all these fucking great ideas about that character. Really good ideas. And I think I really kind of floored him with what I wanted to do with the character, which was had more dimension than what I had read in the script, the character. And I thought I had really impressed him quite a bit. And so he actually canceled the meeting that he had after the meeting he had with me, and he took me down to his screening room, and he showed me the film that he showed Fox, that let Fox, showed it to Fox, then Fox said, okay, you can have $200 million, get the right movie. And I thought at that moment, you know, I should have just reached over and said, we got a deal, you know, but I didn't, you know. So, but, you know, I thought I had a really good chance of getting it. And so, you know, a week or two goes by, and my agent again at Lamato calls, and Jim's not real good at returning calls, probably because he's busy doing more important things. But we always checked in with John Landau, who is his executive producer, and you know, always wins the Academy Award for Best Picture in Jim's movies. And I waited about 10 months with us calling once a month, and then saying, well, no, he's really in it. No, Jim's really thinking about it, but he's still thinking about Michael. And then Ain't It Cool News picked it up and said that they'd had they'd heard leaks coming out of Jim's company that I was playing a role. So when I was actually doing the press for Rodriguez movie, people were asking me about it, and I'm like, I don't know, man, Jim hasn't made up his mind. And then actually what happened is my son went to school with John Landis' son, and they were both, I don't know, they were 15, John Landau, I'm sorry, 15 at the time. And Landau's son told my son that he didn't think I was going to get the role because Sigourney had been cast in the movie, and Jim didn't want Sigourney and me in the movie because it would bring back this kind of alien, kind of like people would remember that. But that was just like one piece of information that I had, and I hadn't heard anything. But, you know, 10 months later, 11 months later, whatever, it did come back that I didn't get the role, and that's the reason why Jim didn't want to give me the role, is because he cast Sigourney. But, you know, and I have talked to Jim, you know, since then, but, you know, I'm not going to say to Jim Cameron, hey, are you going to put me in number 3? You know, he saw the movie, he watched the movie when he asked to see my movie, and he watched the movie with me, and we talked, and we had dinner and our lunch, and I spent about 10 hours with him, 8 or 10 hours, and we were just out there all day. And, you know, Jim Cameron knows who I am, and he knows what I can do, and if he wants to put me in a movie, he'll put me in a movie. It's the same thing like with Robert or Quentin even, you know. You know, I'm not going to call these guys up that know me and ask them if I can be in a movie, because, you know, they know me. So if they want me, they want me. If there's a role, there's a role. So, you know, it's funny because Jennifer was with one of the cast members of this movie, and we were driving down the street talking about making a movie, and we were talking about the movie, and then Jennifer said, well, I can be in it, and then Denny can play this role. Denny was the younger cop in this, and I'm thinking about making the movie, and I'm thinking, no, that's not going to work. You two can't be in the same movie. And like I immediately kind of got like where Jim was coming from as far as like that. I mean, it's further away. It was 25 years ago and everything. But I understand that Jim. I always say I was inspired to make this movie